guys, welcome back to RC Every Day. It's finally here, the new cross-country, off-road, ready-to-run scale vehicle from RC4wd drive. I wanted to call it a truck, but I think Jeeps are trucks. Kind of like trucks. We're going to call it a truck. So, this is an all-new chassis. I'm sure you've seen some other videos on it. It is a little bit different design, a little bit more scale, and it's a hard body. So, let's start off. We got sticker sheet. I'm not a big sticker guy. We've got standard RC4wd drive 3-channel ready to run radio. Decent. We've got a heavy bag here. This has our nickel metal battery, our wall charger, just the basic RTR stuff. Nothing to get excited about. It does come with batteries for the remote. This is nice. 3000 milliamp. They've switched to these plugs, the XT60s, which I don't have an adapter for, so we'll have to correct that before we drive. I run Dean's plugs on everything now, and I'm pretty sure I may have an adapter for that. We'll have to look. Go through my bin of things. We could run it on the nickel metal battery at first. That's got all the outlets, different adapters for all the other countries. Alright, let's look at this thing. One nice touch, it comes with a full-size spare tire and wheel. These are metal bead locks. We have a front bumper we have to install. They have different springs. I read about this, there are different rates, so you can fine-tune your suspension a little bit. It's kind of nice out of the box. Matching spare tire and wheel, which does mount to the body. You can hear me over all this plastic rattling. Been waiting on this thing for a while. I've decided when we put the teaser on the channel, oh, that was before Christmas. Yeah, took a while to get them out for some reason. I've got a third brake light that actually does have a red light in it, or a red lens. I don't see a way to put a light bulb in it. So these are 155 wagon wheels, I believe, 5-lug. Bare metal finish is nice. Looks like they have a nice little clear coat on too. And the Compass scale tire, these say 37 on them. They could be that in real life. It's a really pretty nice compound. They feel way stickier than a lot of the RTR tires of the past. And I like it as 155. I like 155s on everything. So, other than that, we've got the instruction booklet. We have an added sheet here. It shows how to put the bumper on and the rear tire carrier, and battery straps, and a little thing for the ESC. Let's get this thing freed from its cardboard. It's kind of funny. RC4wd drive stuff started out kind of crude packaging. Everything was in styrofoam. Now they pretty much are all RTR. They come strapped to a piece of cardboard like this with some form-fitted plastic. Gotten all fancy. Things always change. Be free. Ta-da. Alright, it's that time. Stay closed, hood. Oh, there's some sticky stuff. So the top is removable. It's a nice touch. Come on, this stuff is super sticky. Ah. There we go. Time to free you. Alright, it's got some weight to it. This is one of the things I prefer about RC4wd drive rigs. There's so much metal. I mean, compared to an SCX10 and stuff. And I know that's apples to oranges, but I like the heavy weighted trucks. They seem to perform a little bit more realistic to me. Alright, so we'll throw the bumper and the spare tire on it real quick, and we'll get a closer look at it. Alright, so let's have a quick look at the underside real quick before we take the body off. We have 3-link in the front with a panhard up here. The beefier, newer style plastic Punisher shafts. They are pretty beefy compared to some of the other stuff we had back in the day. Like I said, 3-link in the front, 4-link in the rear. I love how the chassis tapers. It's narrow in the front, widens out here in the back. It's very reminiscent of the old bruiser frames and the old RC4wd drive variants of that, Bruiser Raptors and Yoda trucks and stuff like that we had back in the day. And it's very true to scale. So K44s, the cast axles, not the machine versions. Kit would cost twice as much if it was the machine versions. And I'm really digging these tires. These Compass tires. I had a nice big beefy plastic skid plate. I think that's plastic. It might be metal. I think it's metal. Huh. Looks plastic. It's cold when you touch it. Alright, so these body mounts, and there's a lot of people talking about those in some other videos. You squeeze them and they let go. But the rear ones here, you can't really get your fingers inside the body that easy. So let's see if we can do a couple at a time here. Alright, not playing nice. I don't want to scratch the roof up. Already got it dirty. I haven't even got it on the trail yet. I'll find them. I heard one pop loose. Now your front bumper is mounted to the chassis. It is very plastic, so I'm sure they're going to have a whole line of all their scale bumpers and stuff for this before long. Hey, I forgot about the opening hood. Oh, good Lord. Alright, so the body mounts, there is a little trick to them. I put the body up on the front bumper like this. That way the body's off of it. And you get in there and you can pull it apart as you squeeze these. Takes a little practice, but wasn't too bad. I like how easy it's going to be to put back on. That's definitely going to be a plus. So, this chassis looks fantastic. I love it. We've got captive front coil, captive rear coil, separate shocks. We do have the 2-speed transmission, and it looks like the same R2 or R3 2-speed. I can't remember the numbers, but the motor is flipped around on the back, so it's not hanging out over the nose. All the weight, you can feel it when you pick this thing up. All the weight with the body and everything is right over that front axle. It feels very well balanced. I wish I'd have had this weekend. I could have taken it to my land and drove it. Because I don't have a good place here to drive that's really going to showcase this thing, because I think this is going to be a good performing chassis. Feels super good. Nice and smooth and firm. Pretty good amount of flex. Lots of new pieces. You know what I build on the channel. You've seen the stuff I do. So I'm looking at what can I use to make other things out of too. We've got our same transfer case. Twister servos. These are both the same, I believe. 35, yeah. Same servos. The Outcry 3 waterproof ESC. Again, it looks very strikingly similar to my Hobby Wing 1060s, which I do like. And a little receiver for our 3-channel RC4wd drive radio. Nothing groundbreaking electronically. This is an RTR. You're not going to get $100 reef servo in it. And these aren't bad for entry-level stuff. That is, honestly, these are better than a lot of my rigs have. So, kind of cheap on electronics. So this is metal. This is metal. There's some plastic stuff in there. Front shock hoops are plastic. So there are some differences in the transmission. This front case is cast in with the motor mount, so it isn't the same case as the other 2-speed trans. Not sure about it. I've only had one of these and it's out in my big shop right now, so I don't have it to compare it to. But not much else to say. The servo angle in the front, I know some people were weird about that on some of the reviews. It makes perfect sense if you look at it this way. You're getting your arm angled down towards everything, getting it a little more reach than it would normally have without interfering with your 3-link bar. Because that was some of the issue we had with the Jalon 2 frame, depending on where your servo was, or even on the Trailfinder 2. If you put the servo too low, it starts hitting at least the rods for the front steering, if not the axle housing itself. So by tilting that up, you're still getting the reach of the servo horn down low. It does raise when it turns, so you're actually getting more pull in both directions out of it. but you're not losing that clearance because your pan hard bar runs right underneath where that servo would be if it was angled perfectly straight up and down. So completely get that. That's something I would do. Alright, for the time being, we're going to use the RTR radio. I did find an adapter for my Dean's connectors. It does come with one of these extra little pins for the ESC. We can liberate it from the bag. It has a setting in there already for nickel metal. We'll move that over to the LiPo because we are going to run this nice Helios RC. And front brake reverse. There we go. So let's plug it up, not blow it up. You got the steering dialed way down on the radio. Let's check out that shift servo. So that's high gear. Low gear. Takes it a second to engage. It's not bad though. Sounds pretty solid. So on your radio, if you get one of these, the steering, they've got it set on like a 4. I'll crank that puppy up to like 8. I can go a little further. That's closer to 8. Alright, now it's hitting the 4-link bar on that side. That is when I turn left. So we need to turn left down a little bit. Perfect. Turn right up a little bit more. And we are reaching the limits of the servo here because the horn is offset on one side. But I think it'll still be good. So I'm going to throw some battery straps on here that came with it somewhere. And we'll snap that body back on. See what this thing drives like. I forgot to even talk about the body. I'm so excited to drive this thing. So it looks like our roof panels just kind of snap in. So we've opened up the Freedom top here. So it is a little bit shallow. You can see there's not a whole lot. I can barely get my finger under the steering wheel. And but yeah, we've got a lot of stuff. We've got gauges, we've got nav, we've got the tweeters on the dash, like the real one. Shifter, looks like an automatic shifter. What in tarnation? A lot of little detail stuff. The tail lights look fantastic on this. So we've got the third brake light we talked about earlier. We actually have little cages around our tail lights, and it has us have a clear lens for the reverse. So I'm assuming it has buckets in there. I forgot to look while I had it apart. I believe it does. No opening doors, thank goodness. I'm not a big fan of opening doors on stuff. After the 87 extra cab, just battling with that body, trying to put it together and paint it, I'm really not into opening doors anymore. We got a little yellow marker light here on the front fender. The front end, we've got headlights. We don't have lenses for the blinkers, looks like, and they are clear. Alright guys, sorry we didn't get much more of a drive. It's been a rough couple weeks at work and trying to do this in the evenings. I went to my land last weekend, and that's where we need to take this. From what I could tell, compared to some of the other rigs I've driven through the few obstacles here at the house, it seemed like it does pretty well. I really like these tires. The tire and the wheel setup look awesome. They just seem too small on here for me. I hope it doesn't affect the performance too much once we get it up to the real track, but I am going to switch the tires, and I'll show you those here in a minute. These Compass tires are perfect. The foam, the compound, everything just works together. They grip. They don't, they're not flat spotted or anything. I really like those. They're just a little too small for this body. And the body is a little bit smaller than some things. This is probably actually, I don't know, maybe real 1/10 scale. It's hard to tell. Everybody's got a different take on it. I'm sure you've seen some of the other reviews if you're watching this one. I think Scale Builders Guild showed it next to Hilux and SCX10 and things like that. And it is a little bit small. You can tell the interior would not fit the same figure a Trailfinder 2 would in it. That's the best way to put it. It's, if you could fit one in there with the legs and all that, but it's scaled nonetheless. I like the body. Not a huge fan of the interior. It's a little toyish, but they're getting more detail. Every truck, ever since the Hero truck and the new D90 bodies, they're getting more and more detailed every time. And yeah, it's headed in the right direction. Opening hood, it's kind of neat. I wish the battery access was under there, but it doesn't fit the layout. I know a lot of people were very distraught about the engine location. Everybody wants to put the engine down low. That 2-speed transmission is not light. And I will tell you, from the little bit driving I've done, even in top gear, sharp turns, it does not feel top heavy at all. And I did take the top off, but that is very, very, very lightweight stuff, along with the Freedom panels. Yeah, I think it looks cool. I like showing the interior. Not sure yet what we're going to do with the body. It is an odd wheelbase chassis. I was talking to someone on Instagram about that. It's kind of in between, a little bit longer than a Trailfinder 2 and a little bit shorter than the long wheelbase. So, and it is a captive coil suspension, so if you're going to be real scale, not a lot of things would fit that type of suspension. But I absolutely love this chassis. The chassis is awesome. The layout is awesome. I don't mind the motor being up high because it's in a good spot. It's not going to be too far out on the nose. It's right over the center. Give you a good weight balance. The suspension on it, the captive coil thing, I don't know why it's so different than a standard like SCX10 shock, but it does feel drastically different, and it feels pretty dang scale when you're watching it drive. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm hopeful of what we can do with this chassis, because I'm pretty impressed with it. I like it. The big thing in the room, everybody, yes, there is a Jeep grill underneath there. I don't know why or whatever reason that was covered. The part of this is metal, and it is screwed in 4 places, and 2 of those places hold your magnets or the metal plates for the magnets for your hood. So I don't know about taking it off. I'm not that worried about it. It kind of looks cool, and I think once we put some bigger tires on it, it'll look even better. But overall, I'm pretty excited about this. I've seen all the other reviews like you have, and I was a little on the fence, but I already had it coming, so here we are. Again, it is a little bit smaller, but I like the performance of it. I like the way it drives. The 2-speed, but the gear ratios is awesome. You have quite a bit of top end speed, and it was actually, when I first went out and filmed that, the LiPo was just about dead, and I went back out with another battery to do the rock climbing stuff, but it may actually be a little bit quicker. And yeah, the gear ratios and stuff feel great on it. That new transmission layout makes it super easy to change gears if you so desire. Now the bumpers do match the body. They are kind of plasticky. They look plasticky. Front one's got a little bit of give in it, so it's good if you're a beginner, you run into some hard stuff. But I like that the bumpers are bolted to the frame, not the body. The sliders will come off easy. The fenders are glued on separate, but they're not screwed on, so I don't know how they'll remedy that for aftermarket things, but you know RC4wd drive, and they'll be coming, and I can't wait to do some bumpers and stuff on this. I don't think I have any of the old Jeep stuff laying around anymore. I would kind of mock one up and see, but I am excited for that because I think it's an opportunity for some really cool scale stuff on a hard body, unlike the Axials or Lexan. So I'm going to put some different tires and wheels on it and see what y'all think. I don't know about you, but that makes a world of difference. So those tires, this tire and wheel setup came on my blue TF2. I picked it up secondhand and didn't fit the build, so just had them sitting around. They are 1.9. I believe it's like a Vanquish copy or something. It does have weighted hubs in the front, which is kind of cool. Actual bead locks, and I'm not sure what kind of tires those are. I don't remember. And it doesn't really matter. They look good on here. I think they're the right size. Those look more like 37s on there. These Compass tires say pretend scale 37. 37 by 13.9 are 15.5. It's kind of an odd size. I got distracted trying to put accessories on it already. I did want to show the roof panel is snap-on. There are no screws that hold it in. I actually took some out that didn't need to be. It goes on a whole lot easier without your spare tire. I'm really not wanting to take that off. Let's see if we can do it. I got it off with the spare tire on. There it is. Just locks under the front. Snaps in. And I did find a kind of a helpful trick with those body clips. See, that goes under there. And you just kind of bend it to your wheel. Front end. Get that corner in. And the rest snaps into place. I have this CC hand roof rack, which fits the Jeep roof perfectly. Actually, it looks pretty dang cool. I might throw that on there real quick. I got a little carried away. So the roof rack went on really well. That's a CC hand bed rack for Mojave. I think it's the Mojave four-door long wheelbase Mojave. And it came with some brackets, some hoops that go in the bed. And I was hoping to use that on the 87 extra cab. And had to change of plans with all of the plans I had for that. So I had that nice rack. I think that was like $67 with the hoops. But it's really nice aluminum. And used some little 2.5 mil hardware, and instead of wasting, I don't have any 2.5 spacers, so instead of wasting my 3 mil spacers, got a little piece of rubber, and they are from a Clodbuster shocks, factory kit shocks. They have little pieces of rubber hose in them so they don't bottom out and explode. And yeah, I just cut 4 of those around about the same length, put the roof rack on with those in between the top and the rack, some nuts on the inside, and we've got it nice. It's elevated. It's off the top all the way over the arch of the roof. Up top I put one of those little cases. I have those in my Amazon influencer store. They're sold as a set of 3. It's got 3 different sizes. They do actually open. They're really nice. They look like gun cases or, you know, some of those Pelican cases, different shapes. And yeah, they're really inexpensive. I don't remember exactly, but they're pretty cheap. And they look cool strapped to the roof of Jeep. Out back, another thing I have in the Amazon store. I don't know why. I like these little cargo baskets for your hitch, receiver hitch cargo things. Never used one in real life, but not to say I ever won't. This thing has that hitch from the factory, and I picked up one of those out of my Amazon store. I think it was $11 shipped from the U.S., so I didn't have to wait months for it to come from China. And it's actually pretty nice. It's put together well. The finish is good on it. And it has 2 different mounting depths. It is wedged in there nice and tight with that spare tire. And it's got some old accessories in there. Got some Proline water tanks, a little Proline cooler that's been around several people, and a little green basket. It's like a little Barbie basket. Found it at a flea market like 9 years ago. And has a Rubbermaid tote in it. Those Rubbermaid totes are keychains. They gave them out to the people at the Rubbermaid factory which I think is up near Sulphur Springs, Texas. And you can find those on eBay from time to time. I bought like 15 of them a while ago. I ran across somebody that had a bunch after a friend of an ex-girlfriend's dad worked out there and had one, and she collected miniature stuff, and I ended up with it. So found out where they were and how to get a hold of them. But I'm digging this thing. I'm excited to see what's next with it. Get it up to the land, get it out to USTE, which is coming up here in very shortly. And yeah, do some tiny trucking with it. So comment below what y'all think. You know, it's not for everybody, but I really like the way it drives, and that makes me like it even better. I like it better now than before I opened the box. Let's put it that way. So we'll see how these new tires and stuff do next time. I'll bring the old ones with me to the land so we can swap them out if they these new ones don't grip enough or cause some kind of wild something not working. But appreciate you guys watching. Keep it scale. I'll see y'all in the next video.